I call the member for Eden-Monaro.
Deputy Speaker, I'm very pleased to rise on this matter of public importance. When my children were toddlers, they had an expression they used when someone said or repeated something a bit bizarre. They would say that a person must have been hit in the head with a silly stick. Well, that must have been what had happened to the opposition members today. It is that, or we have some very lame humorists over on the opposition benches. To propose that the government is undermining confidence is absolutely bizarre. Deputy Speaker, the matter of public importance submitted by the opposition today talks about an undermining of public confidence by the government. Is the opposition serious? Are we to infer from this MPI that Labor had somehow built up public confidence during the Rudd-Gillard-Rudd shambles of the last 6 years? Do they think that confidence had reached a high point under their administration? Do they believe that? This begs the question, why did Labor lose the election? Deputy Speaker, I suggest that they lost because the Australian people had in fact lost confidence in their stewardship and their handling of major policies. For example, Gonski had become an act of faith for them, but the policy specifics were a mess. The Minister for Education has had to fix up the shambles and is producing a real national model. Similarly, the National Broadband Network, NBN, had become a farce. It was a fantasy. People in my electorate knew that. It was all on the never-never. People in my electorate were told by the Labor MP that before the election that they would become the new Silicon Valley of Australia. But there was no NBN in sight. Not one case of fibre to the premises connection occurred in Eden-Monaro in the last 6 years.
Shameful.
The Minister for Communications has put that major national infrastructure, that vital infrastructure project, back on track. Deputy Speaker, when a party promises no carbon tax and then implements one, and when you say as a party you will deliver a surplus and then fess up and say very late in the term it is all too hard and not possible, you can't be serious if you think you somehow have the people's confidence. Confidence was at a low point. That is why they are over there in opposition. Right. So I'm just bemused by this MPI. Let me quote from a recent Roy Morgan research report. Quote, Roy Morgan Research Business Confidence Survey in September showed that Australian business confidence rose to the highest level since January 2011 following the federal election. The rise of 14.7 points to a score of 134.3 is the biggest monthly increase in business confidence recorded since the survey began in December 2010. Unquote. Deputy Speaker, the people of Australia can be very confident that the government is getting on with the job. Right. We have returned certainty to all those people who were to be ripped off by the FBT on car leases, as we said we would do before the election. The people can be confident that we are implementing our border protection policies, as we said we would before the election. We have cut illegal arrivals by over 80%. We have cut illegal arrivals by over 80%. We are getting rid of the destructive carbon tax, as we said we would do before the election. We are getting rid of the destructive mining tax, as we said we would do before the election. People can be confident that we are getting the debt problem under control, as we said we would do before the election. We are getting on with free trade agreements, and we heard today about the Korean free trade agreement, something we said we would implement before the election. We're re-establishing the Australian Building and Construction Commission, a vital economic reform for this country, something we said that we would do before the election, and we're getting on with it. The people are confident that we have no... The people are confident. They're confident in one thing, that they have no confidence in Labor. Get out of the way and let us clean up the mess. When we were in opposition, we tried to stop the then government from breaking their promises. They are now trying to stop us keeping our promises. The hypocrisy is breathtaking, as is this MPI topic.